So today we will see one scenario related to a database, okay, data validation. So I have opened a SQLite, okay. So today what we will do, there is one table called employee CRM, okay. So in this table we have data available for employee, okay, and um, their salary for the 3 months, okay, like January, February, and March months, whatever salary they have withdrawn, okay, those details we have, okay, and we have one more table, employee final data, okay. This table is the consolidated table, okay. So suppose this table is having data for 3 months, okay, employee salary detail, okay, and this is the combined table or consolidated table for this employee data, okay. So this is the total salary is the sum of all 3 months salary which we are seeing here, okay. So if I filter with any employee like 1005, you can see this employee has withdrawn salary in March this much, January this much, and February this much. This salary, okay. Um, don't think like how come the salaries are different. Just the data is available like that. Okay. So this employee has withdrawn this much salary, and in this table, okay, for that particular employee 1005, okay, for this particular. So this salary is the total salary, okay, total salary for those 3 months. So we need to validate this with the other details like employee name, designation, or company, like that, okay. So two tables we have. One is having the whole data for the 3 months, okay, and this is the final table, okay. So both table we need to compare, okay. So we'll see this today, okay. So let's quickly start. Let me create one test case. Database validation, okay. So as you all knows, for to work with the database we have standard module available, okay, under database folder, tbox db expert module, okay. Let me drag and drop. So what will be the logic here is like, since we have 10 employees here, okay, and in this table, okay, employee crm, so we have to take like first employee from here. So employee id is unique here, so we can take we can first take first row, okay, from this table, okay, and we need to buffer all the details, okay. Then using the employee id we need to query this particular table like 1001. So we need to fetch this data, as well as we need to sum this salary and validate against this salary, total salary, okay. So we have to add those 3 months salary and compare with this table of total salary, okay. So let's start, okay. First we need to get the count of this table, okay, final table. So employee final data. So how we will get the count? Select count, sorry, star from employee final data, okay. So we have 10 records, okay. So let me just paste this query here, okay, And to connect with SQLite DB, we have already created a ODBC setup. Okay, so we have already done ODBC setup for our SQLite. Okay, where we have attached our database file. Okay, and we need to provide the DSN name, which is SqLite. Okay, connection name I will give connection1 or connect1. Okay, and after running the query through this, we will be able to connect to SQLite DB. Then we are running query, we need to fetch the data. Okay, we need to fetch this count. Okay, so we'll count as in the second row. Okay, and first cell we need the record count little buffer, where data will start from second row. This is the first cell. Okay, let's quickly run and check whether we are getting correct count. Okay, so our test case is passed and we are getting RCS 10. Okay, we are getting record count as 10. Okay, so now we have to fetch data from the table. Okay, and we have to iterate over each record, so we'll use a repetition folder and we will set this repetition. Okay, counter here. So we have a total number of records in RC buffer. Okay, they just copy and paste here. Okay, this is to get the total record count. Okay, this is to fetch the data from employee final data table. Okay, so we need to fetch the data from employee final table. So query will be same here, just we need to remove the count. If I run this, it is giving 10 count. Okay, so I will just use the same query, select star from employee final data. Okay, and in the result table. Okay, now instead of giving hard code value here, we will use the repetition, because we want to iterate every time. Okay, one record. Okay, repetition. Okay, and we need to fetch all the column values. So first is employee ID, so we can direct, either we can use #1 #2 like that, or we can use column name. Employee ID, employee ID and employee name. Okay, and we have employee name, we have designation. Okay, then we have company, and then we have total salary withdrawn. Okay, total. Okay, withdrawn. Okay, so we need to buffer here. Okay, we'll give buffer employee ID Okay, underscore employee final data. Okay, just let me give like that. Employee final data, employee final data, company, employee final data. Okay, then give total salary withdrawn, employee final data. Okay, so what we are doing, we are getting the data from this table. Okay, so in first iteration it will take the data from this table in first row. Okay, now using this employee ID we have to filter into this particular table, another table. Okay, this employee CRM we need to filter out. Okay, so again we have to just copy paste the same step from employee CRM table. Okay, employee CRM. Okay, select star from select star from employee CRM. Okay, if we write like this, it's fine. Now we have to apply condition where employee ID equals to, you have to just try and filter. Okay, try just one filter. So it's displaying three records. Okay, in that table. So in that three records we need the sum of that salary. So how we will get the sum of salary? We will get sum, then column name. Okay, just run this. Okay, now we are getting sum of the salaries, sum of salaries. Okay, just ignore this column. Now we need this column, sum of salaries, which is 2,49,000. Okay, so let's paste this query here and so control C and control. Okay, instead of employee ID we have to give the buffer name, which is employee ID underscore EFT. Okay, employee ID underscore EFD. Okay, then here repetition is not required. Okay, here repetition is not required. Okay, because this query will give one record here. Okay, we don't need all three records, or we don't need the repetition. Okay, we need only the sum of salary and other this detail. Okay, we are already getting a data from this table. Okay, and this data we need to compare. We have to use employee ID, we have to filter out the records, and we have to compare. Okay, so that's why we have used repetition here, because every time we will iterate over this table, and then we will use employee ID, we'll filter out here, and we'll filter out here, and then we will do the sum of the salary, and then we will do the validation. So same way how we have buffered here, you can buffer, and then you can do, or what you can do, you can compare. Okay, this is one way of doing, like how you have buffered here. Same way you will buffer one table data, this is second table data. Okay, and then you will take one set buffer, you will compare first table data with second table data. This is one way. Okay, but if you want to reduce that step, you can directly verify here, because we have already buffered first table data. Okay, so instead of buffering here, what we can do, we can directly compare here. Instead of buffer, it will be verify. Okay, so always we should try to optimize our script. Okay, no need to use unnecessary steps. If we are good with two steps, then no need to increase extra steps. Okay, then in this case, it's not required to buffer and then validate separately. Okay, use again taking t-box set buffer and comparing. Instead of that, you can buffer here itself. Okay, sorry, you can verify here itself. Now we don't need the salary, we need total salary. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll give some column name, total cell. Okay, and let's run this. We'll getting total cell. Okay, we'll just paste here. Okay, and instead of this, what we will do, we'll use total cell. Okay, and then we'll compare with this total salary from the first table. Okay, from employee final data. Okay, so let me explain once again. So for that, first we are taking the total record count of final data. Okay, that is 10. Okay, now we are using a repetition folder. Okay, we are giving count as 10. Okay, so it will iterate over all 10 employees. So first, instead of hard coding here, we are using repetition, because we want to iterate over all the employee available in the table. So it will come here, and it will, for first iteration, it will be like $1, and then for each column, employee ID, employee name, designation, company, and total salary, it will buffer. Okay, those data in the buffer which we have mentioned. Okay, now using that buffer employee ID, we are filtering in that employee CRM table, like select all the details. Okay, required details from the table where employee ID is the buffer of employee ID underscore EFD. Okay, so once we run this query, it will give one single record. As I shown you in the query, it will give single record. Okay, that's why I have just given a single row here. Okay, in that single row, again we have few columns. Okay, those columns, okay, we are just mentioned here, and instead of buffering, what we are doing, directly we have already buffered the first table, we are directly comparing. Okay, instead of again buffering and comparing it separately. So we have already compared here. You can see total salary is coming as the sum of the salary. Okay, for the table for this particular employee ID, and which we are comparing with the total salary withdrawn EFD, that is employee final data. Okay, so we are done with the scripting. Okay, let's quickly run that, and let's check the result. So test case is showing as failed, so we have done some mistake. employee name, cannot find cell employee name. So again we have done some spelling mistake, I think. Yes, we have done a mistake in the column name. Okay, and this table also will be having same problem. Let me replace that, save it, and give for run. Again it got failed this time. Okay, one second. Again I have done some mistake in the spelling I have done, I think. Total salary withdrawn. Okay, there is some space. Okay, let me just use this. Okay, let me run it. This all silly mistakes I do always. Okay, see, within 3 seconds test case execution is completed. Okay, let's check the result. Okay, step by step. So total count is 10, which is correct. Okay, let's first check the first repetition. Okay, this is the data from employee final data. You can see buffer with name employee id underscore efd has been set to 1001. You can cross check here. 100. Okay, 1001 ratio pm hcl, and this is the amount. Okay, we have buffered. Now let's jump to second table. Okay, where we have used this query, select some salary as a total cell from employee. Okay, where employee id equals to buffer of employee id, which is 1001, which has been set here 1001. So employee id, we have passed this buffer employee id underscore efd, which is saying the verification has successful. Okay, employee id matched, name also matched. Okay, and designation company, and this was the actual validation. Just see here, the expected value was this total salary, and actual was this, which is successfully verified. The same way you can check for all the employees. Okay, this is for the second employee. Okay, this was the total salary from the first table, and this is the total sum. Okay, and the validation has passed. Okay, the same way it has run for all the 10 employees, and it has performed um, sum of the salaries from the first table, and it has done the validation. Okay, so this is what we were expecting. Okay, to compare the data from two database table. Okay, and I have used SQLite database. Okay, and suppose if you have SQL Server, okay, SQL database, the concept will be same. Okay, even the queries will be same. Okay, you can use with any database. The concept remains the same. Okay, when in real time you might get scenarios where we have 3 4 tables, and you have to do some calculation, okay, from few tables, and with the final table you have to validate the data. Okay, that time you can follow this approach. Okay, yeah, just comment it if you have any doubt on this. Okay, okay, that's all for this scenario, guys. We'll meet again with the new scenarios. Thank you. Bye bye.